refraction from rarer to denser medium at convex spherical refracting surface for the virtual image. Now we know that for the virtual image to be formed, the object should lie close to the spherical surface. Now this O is the point object lying on the surface, and when light falls over the surface making an angle I with the normal, it gets refracted and bent toward the normal. You can see here that if it goes, actually it should go like this, but it bent toward the normal, and in that case it will not actually meet in this surface, in this side. So it appears to come from this light. So I is the virtual image for the object O, and C is the center of curvature. Okay, now using first step, we have to find out the angle I and R. Okay, so in this triangle you can see there's triangle OAC. I is the external angle, and alpha and gamma were the external angles. So we can write that I is equal to alpha plus gamma. Similarly, in this triangle, this whole, you can see that this whole AIC, make this in your notebook separately. AIC, in this case, this R is the external angle and beta and gamma are the internal angles. So we can write that R is equal to beta plus gamma. So we have find out I and R. Now the next step to do the derivation is use the Snell's law. Now according to the Snell's law, mu 1 sin I is equal to mu 2 sin I, which is equal to mu 2 by mu 1 is equal to sin I by sin R. Now assuming the assumption that angles are very small, so sin I can be replaced by I and sin R can be replaced by R. Now cross multiplying, we will be having mu 1 I. Same steps we are following. Sin I is equal to mu 2 R. Mu 1 I into mu 2 R. Now the next step was, first step was finding out the angles. Second step was using Snell's law. Third step was to put the values of I and R. So we will put mu 1, this is alpha plus gamma is equal to R instead of R. Mu 2 we will put beta plus gamma. Now what was the next step? Use the property theta is equal to arc upon radius. So alpha will be AM by MO, beta will be AM by MI, and gamma will be AM by MC, exactly like the last derivation. So mu 1, alpha is AM, alpha for the object, so MO, plus gamma is for the center of curvature, so in that case AM by MC is equal to mu 2. Beta was for image, so this is AM by MI, and again gamma for center of curvature, so this is AM by MC. Now this AM will cancel out in all, so we will be having mu 1. Again using the assumption that the aperture is small, so M is lying close to the pole. So in that case 1 upon PO plus mu 1 upon PC is equal to mu 2 upon PI plus mu 2 upon PC. Now taking PC in that side, and here we will put the sign conventions again. So this is mu 1 upon PO minus this mu 2 upon PI, which is equal to this mu 2 and this mu 1 minus this mu 1 minus mu 1 upon PC. Now sign convention says that the distances measured along the direction are taken to be positive and opposite to the direction of incidence are taken to be negative. Now you can see here the object is lying to the left side, so minus u, and this image is also lying to this light and opposite to the direction of incidence light. Incidence light is in this direction, going in this direction, and image is formed in opposite direction, so minus v, and R is taken to be positive since it is in the direction of incidence light. So using the sign convention, we will be having mu 1 PO is object distance minus u minus mu 2 pi was the image distance, and this time this lies to the left of the origin pole, or we can say opposite to the direction of incidence light. So in that case pi is equal to minus v is equal to mu 2 minus mu 1 upon plus r. So we can solve this. This is mu 1 by minus u plus mu 2 by v is equal to mu2 minus mu1 by r. You can see that we obtain the same formula as for the real image. So the steps are also same. First step was to write the angles I and R, use Snell's law. After Snell's law, put the values of sin I is equal to I and sin R is equal to R. Then put the values of I and R, use the property theta is equal to L by R, and then use the sign conventions to find the derivation.